met Bill in Nicaragua, Managua, where I was living with my parents. I was 17 years old, and he was 19, and we met. He was the friend of a friend. He was very similar to me. He was Nicaraguan, but raised in the United States. The future was ahead of us. He was going to become a commercial pilot, and once I finished college, we were going to get married. That was the plan. Put it in perspective, because I'd never felt that way before, and I never felt that way later either, because it was my first true love. The plan. But unfortunately, at that time with the Vietnam War going on, he got papers calling him up for the draft. He told me, he said, I'm not opening these papers because I know what they are, and I want you to put across the envelope, no longer lives here. Made the big decision, very difficult decision, to leave and go back to Nicaragua. So we said our goodbyes. I put the envelope in the mail, and he was gone. I decided to go back to Nicaragua for vacation. My father and mother. He went back to Nicaragua and decided to join, of all things, the Air Force. We made up. We got back together, and we had made plans to go to a someone's dance. So I was there waiting for him, and he wasn't showing up. And then suddenly my sister and my cousin, they show up. I said, well, it's Bill, and it's pretty serious. Bill had been with a friend, and they had been cleaning his gun, and the gun went off. But he was shot in the head, and in the back of the head. And my dad said that he was at the hospital. So we all went to the hospital. The gunshot was very severe to the head, and my father wouldn't let me go in, which I really, really wanted to see him, I'm sorry. Anyway, my dad went in, and he came out and said, I'm sorry, but, he's not going to make it. And then he passed away. First of all, that we had kind of argued all this time beforehand. Secondly, that I couldn't say goodbye. And thirdly, that I couldn't tell him that I really, really loved him. Yes. Because I should have gone back to school. I had a scholarship. I was, in perfect, I was going to graduate. I was going to be a scientist and all this, And I just went into a very, very, very deep kind of, I just made one bad decision after another. What can I say? Didn't go back to school. Stopped going to what I felt was not a very deep religious meeting. People that weren't really very nice, So, fortunately, in the end of all this, looking years forward, I came out of it okay.